am I? You know, some people paint, other people dance, many people like to create music. I like to channel my creativity through words. My art is I'm a writer. I'm also a producer. I like to bring those words to life. I've done some shows. Station 19, it's a Grey's Anatomy spinoff. I don't know if it's here yet, but it probably will be. Empire, Nashville, Justified, Life, Revenge. And those are just the scripted shows I've done. I did documentaries and reality for 7 years. The biggest of those that I worked on was a show called Hell's Kitchen. I don't know if you've heard of that. But I jokingly say that I like to write chocolate cake for the masses. I use my imagination, and then I translate my dreams and my visions into words on paper. These papers are the blueprints for the TV dramas that are seen worldwide. So for me, the most important thing that I do in my dramas is create empathy. What is empathy? Simply the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. And that is, to me, empowered imagination. I look at this chart and that says it all, right? There's you, there's me, and in between there's we. And then that we is my imagination. And as Harper Lee said in To Kill a Mockingbird, you never really understand another person until you consider things from his or her point of view, until you climb inside his or her skin and walk around in it. Well, I take that quite literally. When I prepare for a show, I practice that. I step into the gear of the characters I'm writing, if you will. Here's Station 19, which is about firefighters, and there I am in the gear. And there I am with the rig. And there I am hearing firefighter stories at station houses and seeing what they do and talking to them about how they feel when they do what they do. And that, to me, is weaponized empathy, right? I'm going to write their experience. I'm going to put myself in their head, and I'm going to find out what it is in them that relates to me. And I'm going to translate that to you. So I have two basic targets that I've been going for in most of my career when it comes to empathy. One is diversity. Diversity to me, by the way, is more than representation. Diversity to me is not just lots of different colors in the color box, all the different shades of brown on the screen. Diversity has to come with agency. It means that we, as brown people, red people, yellow people, purple people, are allowed to tell our stories. That somebody else isn't telling our stories. We have the agency to tell our own stories. And then there's the other thing I'm really into, gender equality. Hello, India. I'm talking about men and women as equals, at home, at work, and at play. So these are the kinds of things that I'm into. This is the empathy that I like to share. In order to share it, I have to create a feeling of inclusion, environment of inclusion. So I just want to break it down for you for a second, and I'm going to put it in the context of my own country. By 2020, more than half of the children in the United States are expected to be part of a minority group. That's a major shift in demographics. So you see, what we now say as minority is about to become majority. By 2044, no one racial or ethnic group will dominate the U.S. in terms of size. Okay, now, diversity. I want to show you a clip from a show I wrote called Empire. And what's so exciting to me about this is there's a character in this show who is black, and because all the characters in the show are black, I'm able to get a little bit deeper than just the color of his skin.
What I want is for everyone to be talking about Empire.
'Cause I work hard, just so I can play hard. But if you work a little harder, you can play even harder.
I'm the best producer Lucia's Lines ever had.
What I want is a better office.
Where's your office, Boo Boo Kitty?
Ooh, it's about to get hot up in here.
So I be on my hustle hard, hustle hard, hustle hard. Oh my God.
I am not gonna be having Cookie messing this up. Are we gonna have some problems? I'm so dangerous.
We think Bunky was shot around 9:30 on the 12th. Do you recall where you were at that time?
Bang, 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 bang. One more time, bang, 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 bang.
Come here. Don't touch me. I can't make you love your mother, but you will respect her.
I'm trying to build something for us.
I believe in my talent. It's mine. Worth much more than you got.
Reddy thinks we're gonna play nice because we're launching this IPO.
Without me, you'd still be selling CDs out the trunk of your car. I'm here to tell you not to go public.
Or what?
I will dig up the dirt of your past and bury your empire and everyone in it.
All new Empire next Wednesday with limited commercial interruption on Fox.
Daytime audience. So here's what the LA Times wrote about Empire. They said, part Shakespearean drama, part musical. Think King Lear meets Dynasty meets Glee. But the series makes its boldest statement with a single character, a gay one. And that was true. Because what happened on this show was we suddenly had an entire world talking about what it meant to be black and gay in America. And our character, played by Jussie Smollett, Jamal, encouraged the actor to actually come out publicly on Ellen. And after he did that, he began to work with the Black AIDS Institute's mission to stop the AIDS pandemic in black communities. And today, he hosts events, he sparks conversations around HIV, he raises funds, and he encourages people to get tested. This started with an imagination. And now it's making a difference in people's lives. So another target I want to get into, gender. Ooh, here we go. Let's talk about gender. One of my favorite characters is Mags. Let me tell you how I discovered Mags. I was in the writer's room of the show called Justified for FX. I was the only female writer on that show for the first 2 seasons. In between season 1 and season 2, it occurred to me that we had never been to Kentucky. So I said to our executive producers, hey, we need to take a research trip to Kentucky. And they looked at me like, well, you know what? Ours is in mythical Kentucky. Oh, please. They just want to spend the money. I spent my own money. Bought myself a plane ticket, flew to Kentucky, went on ride-alongs with the state police, stayed around with marshals, did what I do, right? Walk in their shoes. I wanted to know what it was like to be a woman, a black woman, especially walking into Harlan, circa, I guess that must have been 2008. Well, what I discovered was one of the biggest badasses, yes, I said that, in Kentucky was a woman. And she was a bootlegger. As a matter of fact, her name was Mags Bailey. And if you wanted any liquor at your wedding, if you wanted some wine at your gathering, you had to go to Mags because it was illegal to sell it in Harlan County. She ran that county. She put people's kids through law school in that county. No jury could convict her. She was a bad woman. And I thought, oh my God, she would make a perfect antagonist for Raylan Givens in season 2. So I had to walk into that room of boys and say, hey, guess what, guys? I got our formidable villain for the season. Her name's Mags, and she's a 60-year-old white woman. And they all looked at me like, you're crazy. No way. She couldn't do it. I said, well, listen here, here's what I got. And I do this a lot. I'd gone through Elmore Leonard's stories because our show was really based on Elmore Leonard. And I brought to them and I said, listen, there's this character Elmore has that's a patriarch named, his name was Purvis Crow. I said, let's change him into a matriarch. He's got 3 sons that does his bidding. So we'll have Mags as the matriarch with her sons doing her bidding. And let me see if I can create not only a formidable villain in her, but an empathy for her sons. Now watch this. And by the way, this is, mature. Tell me what you think.
Hey, here he comes.
Oh, shit, Mama's with him.
Hey, Mama. We need to talk. Can I get you some more? Nothing's gonna take the taste away from my boys going behind my back.
Mama, we never went
Catching McCready's draw checks? How long do you think it'd take before they'd come back on us?
Mama, that's that federal. He's in for trouble with us, always has been.
Because of your actions. Starting with hiring that pederast to do a job I give you.
I'm sorry, Mama.
Cougar, I know you're sorry. That's why it's gonna hurt so much to have to do this. Oh, hey now! Hey now! Hey! Hey!
Put your hand on the stump!
Hey!
Put your hand on the stump!
Take what's coming.
Mama.
I'm saving your gun hand now.
Mama, don't hurt me.
Cross me again and I will leave you nothing.
Mama.
You ain't got to do You shut your mouth!
Mama.
Because you're crippled to the point of worthlessness. It ain't you down on that table. As it is, I have to hurt Cooper. And I like Cooper.
Mama, I love you. Mama, I love you. Mama, no!
We need to talk about what comes next.
I'm sorry, Mama. Oh, Mama, I love you. I'm sorry.
Matter of fact, the Academy thought so too. Margot Martindale won an Emmy for that role. So this started my deeper dive into writing for women. I especially wanted to start writing things that were even more complex. I wanted to write anti-heroes that were women. I wanted to write villains and heroes that were women. And I found this show, After Revenge, called Nashville. And I was so lucky to get to write for this show. Now, on this show, I had I had a female antagonist and a female hero, if you will. And I really wanted to see them working together. I'm going to show you a clip. And this is going to show something that gets a little deeper into when I start to really write about female characters, and I have more than one on screen, when I've got many, showing many different aspects of what it means to be a female. And this allows me to get into ageism. And how does ageism affect the female identity and the female psyche?
I'd like you to do a duet to help with the reputation of a fellow artist.
You got the
Big stars.
I'm willing to do this duet as long as we skip over the part where we act like we actually like each other.
Even bigger egos.
You have not earned that place at all, and everybody here knows it.
The drama in Nashville.
I can explain it. I don't love her, okay?
Is about to go off the charts.
Not believe we have to do this.
You got the
Nashville. All new Wednesday, November 28th on ABC.
Nashville was super fun in that way. Through Nashville, I met a woman named Callie Curry. Now, Callie was a creator of Nashville, but she also wrote a feature film called Thelma and Louise. You may have heard of it. Oh, okay, we got some Thelma and Louise fans in the house. All right, through Callie, I met another woman, an Oscar winner named Gina Davis. Gina Davis now runs the Gina Davis Institute on Gender and Media. Her slogan is, if she can see it, she can be it. And I really live by this now. When I write characters now, I'm always thinking about how can this female or person of color that I'm putting on screen inspire other people to want to do that profession, inspire them to want to go study that. So I was really moved by Gina, and she brought a lot of things to light to me. She uses this thing called the GDIQ. It's her inclusion and quotient. And what she did was she worked with Google, and they put together, a software, basically, that would analyze scripts and analyze screen time for people of color and women. And up until this point, it had been done manually. But look what she found. Of the top 50 family films of 2016 in the U.S., male characters appear and speak on screen twice as often as female characters. Say what? Okay, let's look at the box office returns, though. In 2016 box office returns, films with female leads generated 7.3% more than films with male leads. Okay, wait a minute. So you're telling me we got less women on screen, but when we put them on screen, we make more money? I thought this was a business. Hello? Let's look at this. Films with male and female co-leads generate 21.7% higher average than any other coupling. I'm telling you, they're leaving the dollars on the floor as far as I'm concerned. How about advertisement? You say, I don't watch movies, I don't watch TV. I guess what? I bet you see a lot of advertisements, you can't help it. Well, you're gonna see men about 4 times more often than you see women. You're gonna see men speaking 7 times more than you're gonna hear women. Men are 89% more likely to be shown as smart. You think this isn't sinking into your psyche? It is. In your daughters? It is. So guess what? The next day after I went to a forum where I got to hear Gina speak, I walked into the Empire Room and I said, you know, guys, that character we keep pitching on called Rich E. Whiteman, let's make it Regina Whiteman. Let's change it right now. And we did. One night, we changed his character. Marissa Tomei played her. Changed her into a rich, gay businesswoman, a venture capitalist, saying to the world of women out there, you can be a venture capitalist if you want to be. So characters, thank you, characters to me inspire gender equality. And that had a real effect on me because it wasn't enough for me to just, be in the room to represent with these characters. I wanted to be on shows and create shows where females were going to be empowered at every step of creation. And I had a magical moment on Station 19, which is the last show I produced. This was back in February. Here I am on set. This was the very first time that Jana Lee, who's playing the lead in Station 19, after 4 television series, this is the first time she'd ever been on a set with a female writer-director, a female producer, and her as a lead actor. First time she had a trifecta. So, my moment of doubt today, what I want to express to you, because I'm already out of time. I'm just going. I am not a black female writer. It took me a while. I actually was believing in that. I did. I carried that burden with me a lot. I thought, well, I'm a black female writer. No. It took a real legend to teach me the right way. I got to moderate a conversation with the legendary poet Nikki Giovanni. And during that discussion, Nikki said, you know what? You need to stop labeling yourself that. You're not a black writer. You're not a female writer. You are a writer. There is no other. That is the point. There's no other. She taught me something that day. She taught me to learn empathy for myself, to see myself as I am. My imagination doesn't have a gender. My imagination doesn't have a man-made race or has to conform to any kind of gender norm that's been set before me. It's free to run and roam. It can write about dinosaurs and aliens. It can write about whatever it wants because I'm a writer. And having empathy for myself is a real moment of doubt that I've mostly had to overcome. Thank you.